what may. I know now that I'm ready, yeah. For I finally heard them say it's a different world. Ooh, and where you come from.
He said nothing is fresh is the best is. Whoever than himself he the best is impressive. I ain't rhyming any beat like I'm back in 96. The beat he in the streets earbuds. Fuck the beats and be cursing like a sailor. I so I will be writing grander. To those they give you remember the Titans have blood like Perseus. Uncle Tom was like a white man. Stay about his money. Let me in the ear like he's Tyson. And I hear he laid that guy's feet up when he rap. Making the traffic stand still. They freeze when he say action. A small fraction might walk away simply cause of distraction. I'm always getting back. I think it's cause I'm so attractive. The attractions in my trapping. Bill over to the masters on my Oscar de la Renta dough. Get with the classics. It's on your downfall. Make a beat to go and match it. I take a seat and relax. Scratch the beat and keep rapping.
Different world. Ooh, and where you come. Different world. Ooh, and where you come. Different world. Ooh, and where you come from. The city is now, yeah.
A chef on the glass, walk on the plate, show my ass. Got the skills to pay the bills, but expensive taste make waste haste to your face. And baby, take this creme fresh to your face. Whoa, not like that, gotta make sure it's seasoned right. You ever served 160 within a 300? See humanity testing your sanity. After you were dropping a hole, no light, no more fight. But to get that time, you must do the crime. After 12, we feel one. Say stories to tell about going through hell. How you almost fell, how you messed up that VIP's Cornell. This life in the kids, so you got a quick glimpse of what it means to hustle, bustle through our eye muscle. It's crazy, it's crazy. This profession's not for the lazy, cause it's a
different world. Ooh, and where you come, different world. Ooh, and where you come, different world. Ooh, and where you come from. The city is now, yeah. Here's our chance to make it. Hey, and if we fall less on our goal, you can decide where you can take it. Hey, just remember that you and
It's a different world, man, I'm on some different shit. 250 nowadays for a pair of kicks. I remember when James was like $130, but the rock what I got in my stock, you're unworthy. Foam posits on my feet, never laced up. Foam posits on my feet with the fresh cut. Cargos with the dope t-shirt to match. Wait a minute, hold on, let me check the back of the trunk. Pull them sixes out, feeling like Brian and Dwayne. Feeling fresh in this game like a champ. Got them Jeremy Scotts on their feet with the wings. I'm fly above means, above all. Just to get fresh like I get in these kicks. You gotta stand in line overnight, wait for these shits camp out. Had these for 3 weeks before they even came out. It's a
different world. Ooh, and where you come, different world. Ooh, and where you come, different world. Ooh, and where you come from. The city is now, yeah. Here's our chance to make it. Hey, and if we fall less on our goal, you can decide where you can take it. Hey, just remember that you and it's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world. Where you come from. Ooh, and where you come from.
folk. See, me, not to toot my own horn, folks, but when I say things, I say things. I don't do it to be hyperbolic. I don't do it to be different. Well, I do want to be different, but I don't do it just to be different, meaning I don't do it just so I can try to get a rise out of you. I'm really telling y'all things like this because I want better for my people. And usually the stuff that I say comes to fruition, and then y'all are coming back to me and like, damn, Gravity, you were right. I spent years telling y'all that this whole thing that's going on was designed to stop us from succeeding. Y'all can talk about 2030 and all that. This is a war on black people. And as a war on black people, they know because black people are so resilient, they have to go to extraordinary means to stop us from succeeding out here in these streets. And in doing so, things that you normally see happening, it's really underlined with the hate for us. This is Kid Gravity. Thank y'all for joining me on the live show. Today's show is going to be very powerful, folks. It's going to be legendary. It's going to be controversial. But I do this because I need y'all to wake up. I seriously need black people to wake up. We are T-minus 4.5 months away from the midterms. And I'm already seeing you dumbass Negroes out there buck dancing because Brother Marcel lost. So I already know within 8 days, I already know what the attitude is going to be come November. You niggas are so scared of change that you're going to go back and vote for them Democrats because you think them Republicans are bad. Now, I already told y'all don't have to go vote for no Republican. Y'all don't got to do that. Vote for what is in your best interest for you and your family. But make sure you go into them voting booths with the full knowledge. Don't come in here just voting down ballot because you don't like the other side. You do that, you're the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. I promise you. And I will call you as such. The dumbest motherfucker on the planet. All right. Cool. Y'all want to play games? Today I'm going to show you how they play games, and I'm going to show y'all what this is going to end up if y'all don't wake up. Now, a little perfunctory before we start. I got to show the folk how the weather is today. You know, I usually do that before every show. So that's what it looks like today, folks. It's about 98, but it's cloudy right now, which is good. The sun is behind the clouds, so the sun ain't beating down. It is what it is. So, you know how I say it. Every day above ground, live it. Share, like, and subscribe. That's right, share, like, and subscribe, because I'm not like other YouTubers. I'm different. Okay. So, yesterday I did a Twitter space about FBAs, hip-hop, and non-FBAs. Beautiful Twitter space. I think it went about 4 hours. So I'm going to chop that up into 2 bits. Today and tomorrow. And that was a necessary conversation. I had a lot of people come on stage, give their opinions. And, you know, a lot of information was passed around. A lot of history was passed around in there. So especially for the younger folk, they're going to need to listen to that. So, yes, that was beautiful. So I'm going to put that part 1 today. And then tomorrow, like I said, part 2 will be up 6 o'clock, same time as it is always. So that's 1. Number 2, also, I sat through that the culture is black woman thing, not once but twice. I put the video up. It's doing decent numbers for the channel, so that's good. So go over there to that after you watch this, support it, share it out. You know, put the likes up. Let's get into the algorithm so all them chicks that were on that days can see it so they get mad at me. But let's get to the show, folks. So, like I said, this show is going to be very controversial today. Now, I debated for about 6 months if I was really going to do a show about this. And the reason is the subject matter that I'm going to cover, YouTube does not like. And we already know that the bots are out ready for you to slip up with the trigger word so they can knock the video down or hide it or put the mark on it for misleading the people. But I said, you know what? I might as well do it. I've gotten good numbers when I talked about this subject, so I might as well go down that rabbit hole. So, folks, today we're going to talk about the economics of 2020 and the effects on black people. Now, I had to word the title like that because if I wanted to word it the way I did, YouTube would suppress the hell out the video, especially with the information that I'm going to drop today. But let's begin with an unpopular opinion that y'all not going to like hearing from me. Now, I could say a whole lot of things, but let's just tell the truth, folks. We were better off with the orange man. As much of a white supremacist as he is, we were better off with him. Why do I say that? I could be current with it and just say, hey, what's going on, he was the better option. That's easy. That's easy. But I say that because as much of a white supremacist as he is, there was one thing that most people overlook about him. He listened. He was overt with his white supremacy. I like a white supremacist that's honest. I like a white supremacist that is open. I like a white supremacist that does not falter. Now, I say he a bigot. He's not a racist. I say that because a lot of black people forget that with what Ice Cube did, coming out with Contract with Black America, actually, you could say, yes, he did something for black people, black empowerment and all that. But what he also did was he put white supremacy over a barrel. Because say Trump got back in, he would have been held accountable if he had forgot about his platinum plan, which incorporated most of the Contract with Black America into it. So we basically had him by the nuts. Pause. If he tried some bullshit and said, I'm not going to implement this, I'm not going to do it, we would have been on his neck. He would have had a very bad 4 years. Because by and large, if you really go back and look at it, black people were not really on Trump's neck like we're on Biden's neck right now. Because a lot of people expected him to be the racist that they claim he is, and they just basically ignored his presidency. Let's see. Papa Hotep in the building. Salute, salute. Yeah, we largely ignored his presidency. I've told you on this show many times, I didn't pay attention to the first 2 years. I started paying attention in late 2018. Because, you know, the political season, you have to start early. You can't just come in Johnny come lately, because then you'll get bamboozled. You got to make sure you have all the paperwork ready in case they try to do something. So I started paying attention, and what I liked what he was selling, so I said I'm gonna vote for him. But y'all voted for the cocksucker Biden. Okay, fine. Yeah, y'all got what y'all want. Now everything's going to hell right now. Okay, but he's trying to be nice and cancel student debt. Whoop de fucking D. The shit is still over $1 trillion. So dropping a couple billions here and there means nothing. He's just buying votes right now. But shout out to y'all. But we warned y'all, folks. We warned y'all in 2020 not to vote for him. But what did y'all do?
Everybody knows you never go full retard. You went full retard, man.
Yep, y'all went full retard. Y'all, instead of saying, you know what, hey, 4 more years of him and then we're rid of him forever. Damn, if our taxpayer money got to protect him for life. I mean, it's already doing it now, but hey, he'd be out of our hair. But y'all said, hey, nah, anybody but Trump. Okay, cool. Y'all got it. So y'all disrespected Ice Cube on the way there. You let Biden get away with all that horrendous white supremacist talk on the campaign trail with a fake black woman on his side to soften the blow, who is now becoming a white supremacist in her own right. Miss, I got 2 bags of collard greens, thanks to Jim Clyburn. And now you niggas want to be upset that she said that. And I'm not talking about the real ones. The real ones, no, I ain't mad at y'all. I'm mad at them fake ass niggas that voted for Biden now getting offended over some collard greens. But I bring all that up to bring this up. The economics of 2020 and the effect on black people. The fact that they stopped our money, ladies and gentlemen, it stopped our progress. Let's see. Who's in the building? PGH, Big Dog, salute. Papa Hotep says, seems all us blacks want symbolism over something. No, not all of us. Not all of us. We want tangibles. Most of us want tangibles. But again, the minorities in our group want to be accepted by white folk. I don't know why. White supremacy breaks their tools. White people do not, I repeat, most white people do not have your best interests at heart. Most white people are white liberals in their mind. I'm just going to tell y'all up front. And most of y'all know this, but you play ignorant because you want to get along to stay along. You're going to get hurt in the end. And now you're seeing it. Y'all got upset with black folks like myself and the people on Twitter that said, we gonna call ICE on these illegal immigrants because illegal immigration hurts the black community more than any other community out here. Because guess what? Every other group, if they need illegal labor, they're going to go get it. And it's not going to affect their bottom line. It'll actually make it grow. But when they do it to us, they do it to us specifically to push us out. Because illegal immigration is a form of being a controlled Negro. But y'all don't want to hear that. Okay. I have a whole bunch of Caribbeans now getting upset because I'm not on their bandwagon. Newsflash, I haven't been on y'all bandwagon for over a decade because a lot of y'all come out here and do that coon stuff. And I grew up with a lot of y'all, and a lot of y'all come out. I didn't even notice it when I was young, but a lot of y'all be cooning. And y'all want to puff out y'all's chest. After all this has happened over the last 2 years, y'all want to pump out y'all's chest and think you're into something. Guess what? And I'm looking at y'all, you Haitians. Y'all been pumping out y'all chest a little too much the last few months. Y'all saw what happened in Del Rio. Y'all should have been down there in a contingent from Florida, Chicago, New York, the DMV, wherever y'all stay at. Y'all should have been down in Texas looking after your cousins. Y'all didn't do that. Y'all were conspicuously silent. I'm looking at you, Roland Martin. Jessie Wu, that coontress, she was the only one that had enough nuts to go down there. I ain't seen none of y'all go down there. I saw FBAs down there. But even after all that happened, folks, y'all still ran outside, pumping your chest, talking about, oh, Caribbeans invented hip hop. Oh, the Haitians are better than all y'all. And this, that, and the third. Okay. Hey, Haitians. Yeah, today I got to talk to y'all. Explain this to me, though. On your screen, folks, this is a coin, folks. We all remember this picture. This picture went viral. This was down in Del Rio. This was the picture of the border officer grabbing that young, at least I think he's young, Haitian man who had food in his hand and no shoes, trying to get away from Border Patrol. We all saw the picture. Customs and Border Patrol, whoever did it, got together and immortalized that on a coin and started circulating it amongst their ranks. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So they're making money past 2020 on on y'all's dysfunction, y'all's pain, y'all's suffering. That's what white supremacy does. They were flying off the shelves, according to an eBay merchant, with one going for roughly $500. So I could just imagine how many they came out with. We can only imagine. Economics past 2020 and the effects on black people. This is the name of the show today. I told you Haitians this on Twitter. I'm going to say it again. That is a forever L. Unless y'all bow down and realize what system you're in and you get to working, y'all should not be talking. Send this to your favorite person who says, "Sac passe ma boule." I'm doing it. I'm choosing violence today. If you're not down with black empowerment, get the hell on. Go stay with them coons over there. Go stay with them white folk. I'm sure they're going to need somebody to clean out their toilets. And I'm not talking about the ones in the bathroom. But we're going to keep it moving, folks. Because by keeping it moving, folks, I have to lay out everything. This is going to be a rough conversation, folks. I'm sorry. I'm just going to warn y'all now. It's going to be a rough conversation. Now, y'all know me. I do research. I keep my eyes and ears open for things. And I keep it open because you never know what you'll see. And I ain't gonna hold y'all, folk. I saw something today. This is gonna infuriate y'all. And I have to bring Brother Torian into this because he sent me something as well. And you know, things come in threes. So let's share the screen, folks. So on your screen is Twitter. You know, the bastion of content. And make sure y'all share this out if you're in the room. So, someone called Girl Geechee did a solid to us and put a link to Val Demings, current Senate candidate for Florida. She's trying to unseat Marco Rubio. She dropped her ad. Look at what the ad says, folks. Protect and serve. For those who don't know Val Demings, she was the chief of police in Orlando before she became politician coon. But I want y'all to listen to this 30-second ad and realize what I told y'all back in February after the State of the Union. But let's play it.
Chief Val Demings.
An impressive history of public service.
Protect and serve Florida, that's what I've done. As a police officer and as chief.
Under her leadership,
crime is down 40%.
Most dramatic decrease in violent crime.
In the Senate, I'll protect Florida from bad ideas, like defunding the police. That's just crazy. I am Val Demings, and I approve this message because Florida, it's time to send a cop on the police. That's Florida from bad ideas, like defunding the police. That's just crazy. Florida from bad ideas, like defunding the police. That's just crazy. I am Val Demings, and I approve this message because Florida, it's time to send a cop on the beat to the Senate.
Defund the police is just crazy. Defund the police is just crazy. Huh. That came out on June 13th or June 12th, folks. Okay. Well, you would figure a cop would have said that. I ain't defunded nothing. I'll give her this. At least she's consistent. I will give her that. Because her being the police chief and all, of course, she's not going to say to herself, hey, I need the police unions if I'm going to make this run, especially in Florida. You know, Pinellas and Polk County, Seminole, Orange, Volusia. I need all of them. Dade, I need all of them. I need to get them Cubans on my side. I gotta sound Republican. But I said I'm bringing Brother Torian Rain, and shout out to him. Make sure you subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so. Let's get Let's get him to over 50,000. He's close. I brought that up, folks, because he sent me this today. Says politics trending. Stacey, Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams outlines her proposed plan to raise pay for police officers and address the erosion of trust in law enforcement. Interesting. So she wants to address this. So first, a couple weeks ago, it was about the teachers. Now it's about the police. Institutions that are against us. Interesting. Very interesting. Yet we remember 2 years ago, she was against them police. She was against them police. She was knocking the hell out them police, especially Atlanta PD, when them young college students got accosted down in the Georgia college perimeter during the George Floyd uprising. She wanted them cops criminally charged. But we all remember, if you do, she said, I'm going to defund the police. She said this. Y'all don't believe me? Y'all don't believe me? I'm going to show you. Let's show you that she said this. Here we go. On your screen, folks. Now, Brian Kemp is pulling a Trump. He pulled the receipts. We have the video, folks. Let me see. Where is it? Yep. We have the video. 30-second ad. This is Brian Kemp's ad. Who's ready to hear Stacey lie like she did with the voter suppression? Here we go.
Listen to Stacey Abrams on defunding the police.
So yes to some defunding.
We have to reallocate resources, so yes.
Stacey Abrams said yes to defunding the police. Abrams even joined a radical anti-police group, lining her pockets with cash from defund the police extremists. Would Abrams defund the police?
We have to reallocate resources, so yes.
Fewer cops? More crime? Stacey Abrams is wrong and dangerous. Listen to Stacey Abrams on defunding the police.
So yes to some defunding.
We have to reallocate resources, so yes.
Stacey Abrams said yes to defunding the police. Abrams even joined a radical anti-police group, lining her pockets with cash from defund the police extremists. Would Abrams defund the police?
We have to reallocate resources, so yes.
Fewer cops? More crime? Stacey Abrams is wrong and dangerous. Listen.
I let y'all hear that twice because I want y'all to make sure y'all understand what I've been saying about Stacey for the past year and a half. She's not to be trusted and she's gonna get us killed. First she said I'm gonna defund the police. Now it's I'm gonna refund them if I'm elected governor. We all know why she said that, folks. We all know why she said that. AAPI got at her. AAPI got at her. That whole situation that's been going around the country of AAPI getting their ass kicked, and now they're online talking real spicy and getting the smackdown put on them. Yeah, they told Stacey, listen, we got that anti-hate bill. We got our task force. We need you to regulate these niggas. These niggas are getting too uppity. Everything has a through line. I brought up Brother Torian as well because we were talking briefly and I said that Capitol Police are coming. And he said, I doubt that'll happen. That's fine. But there are rumblings, again, in D.C. that they're going to federalize Capitol Hill Police. And I plan to do a show about that because I can't do it here because I want to stay on subject. But I think I got to get a little bit more information just to circle my wagons. But yes, that show is coming. But this is what y'all voted for. This is what y'all lionize. The economics of 2020. This is economics, folks. I know it's politics, but it's also economics. Because funding the police is going to cost taxpayers more money. She's already looking at that surplus that old Brian Kemp has amassed, and she's going to try, if when, to supplant that and put that in every one of these jurisdictions, especially Atlanta. To have basically a military state through this entire state. And the best way for her to pull that off is she has to limit dissenting voices like myself down here. And the people against her. She needs to make sure she gets favorable senators and representatives in this state and council people to go along with this. She'll lie and say she's going to try to make Georgia the safest state in this country so everybody can come down here and have a beautiful living. But she's only doing that because she wants to show Massa and them that we, including me and my people, are down with the agenda. Keep these niggas in line. And she likes what Command Me be talking.
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
She's not doing this to benefit us. She's doing this to benefit everybody else. We don't rock with Stacey in this state. I'm just going to tell y'all now. I know people from the north side all the way down to where Florida starts. I talked with them. They're not fooling with Stacey. Stacey gonna get us killed. And she's gonna kill our economics. I understand this is tough to hear, but it's gotta be said. But let's get into the meat of the show. Now, like I said at the beginning, I got to be very careful on how I talk about this. In 2019, what happened? Trump was in office. People's bank accounts started rising. The stock market was doing exceptionally well. It was hitting highs like every day. New records broken. The economy was hubbing. Black business was thriving. Like I said, he started putting together his platinum plan. We saw a whole bunch of YouTubers just start to amass their followings. People were getting busy. On the political scale, we started seeing kids getting home thanks to Operation Talon. Black veterans were getting extra money. We saw, by and large, this country was, it almost felt like the 90s. Everybody was eating. Then 2020 happened. And all that fell apart. I have a very unpopular opinion that I'm going to drop on y'all right now. This whole situation with this bomb that they dropped on the world, you can say it was for agendas and things like that. That's fine. There may be some truth to that, but I really think they dropped this bomb on the world to stop us. They know what happens when black people are politically savvy, economically rich, and socially aware. We were coming. We were making the moves necessary to take over these economies on all 7 continents. We have the savvy and we have the swagger to do it. Everybody knows this. So they needed a way to stop us, because the way that they usually stop us was deemed racist. It would be conceived as racist. It would be viewed as racist. So they said they had to affect everybody else just to get to us. And they did it. They successfully stopped the world from moving. And of course, black people were the most affected. These assholes actually sat up there and said this.
貴様の拳などかほどにも効かんわい。お前はもう死んでいる。何?
They said you're already dead. And we were so downtrodden, a lot of us. Anything to get back to some semblance of normalcy, we took it. Now, not me and a lot of the black folks, but I have to generalize here because this is a group problem that we are going through right now. We went through this together, and we let people tell us who look like us, do this, do that. We can go back to normal. You niggas can travel again. You niggas can go get your supplies. You niggas can do all these things. They didn't market this like this to other people. Remember, y'all's Bill Gates said the words out loud. We need y'all to take that Belle Biv DeVoe. We need black people to do this. He said it. The whole world heard him say it. How many of y'all remember back when Governor Cuomo was like the lead face outside of the federal government for the coffee venereal disease? You know, he did the updates every day, had his press conferences. He was basically the rising star. Everybody was talking about he should be in the administration and run for president. They were calling him President Cuomo. I bring him up because this always stuck in my mind the day I saw it. The NAACP Long Island president, Tracy Jones, a black woman, was at the press conference, and this was the early days of them rolling out the Belle Biv DeVoe. She got an opportunity to speak. And what I'm about to play for you, I believe, was a hidden pipe bomb to what we're going to face in the coming months. But it really started back in 2020. So I'm going to play this for you. Hold on to your hats.
You know, Governor, I want to thank you for your leadership. I want to look at you. I want to thank you for your leadership and for your resolve for this issue. We need you to continue going with this vaccine. That's right. That's right. We need you to keep going with this vaccine. You know, COVID has devastated this state. Long Island continues to be one of the hardest hit regions.
I put up the wrong clip. That was my fault. I put up the wrong clip. I screwed that up. Can't say that word. Y'all got to give me a second. That was on me. I have to give myself this.
Really, look, niggas be wildin'.
I was wildin'. I was wildin'. That was the wrong clip. Give me a second, folks. Give me a second. I will be right back. I will be right back.
I know my parents loved me. Stand behind me, come what may. I know now that I'm ready, yeah. For I finally heard them say, it's a different world. Ooh, and where you come from.
He said nothing is fresh is the best is. Whoever than himself he the best is impressive. I ain't rhyming any beat like I said back in 96. The beat he in the streets earbuds. Fuck the beats and be cursing like a sailor. I swear I he be writing grander. For those they give you remember the Titan tablet like Perseus. Uncle Tom was like a white man. Stay about his money. Let me in the ear like you Tyson. And I hear he laid back got his feet up when he rap. Making the traffic stand still. Late Freeze when you say action. A small fraction might walk away simply because of distraction. But always getting back. I think it's because I'm so attracted. The attractions in my trap and roll over to the masses on my Oscar de la Renta dog. Get with the classics. It's on your downfall. Make a beat to go and match it. I take a seat and relax. Scratch the beat and keep rapping.
That was my fault, folks. That was the wrong clip. This is the right clip.
Must take the vaccine. Now, I'm going to tell you a personal story, off script. So today, right after this, I am going to have an infusion. And I'm going to have an infusion because I want to make sure that the cancer that was in my body does not return. I'm not asking what's in the infusion. I'm not looking up all of the ingredients in the infusion. I am sticking out my arm and I am taking the infusion. And that's
regardless of what was in the infusion, I am going to take the infusion. Economics of 2020. They made billions of dollars off the infusion, as she so aptly called it. Big Pharma is making record profits, folks, while trying to kill us. They made many a dollar off buying masks because they said it would help. Now we have a whole bunch of people running around with respiratory problems that they didn't have 2 years ago. Economics of 2020. We were making so much money, folks, they tried to regulate us. Biden talking about he proposes if you make more than $600 in your Cash App or Venmo, the banks and the federal government have a right to monitor your accounts. Economics of 2020. Y'all think this is a game out here. It's not a game. This is designed to stop us. When I did that podcast episode, I swear to y'all, I outlined everything. I was not playing, and everything I said in there came to fruition. Those middle management jobs that these black chicks love to covet. Who's getting them now? That's right, folks. Them white girls. Them white women. They told them, their husbands were struggling. Their families were struggling. They said, I can't do this again. I can't look at my husband. I can't look at my kids and feel as though I'm helpless. So now, here we are 2 years later. And we have the advent of these remote jobs. Who's taking these remote jobs? Oh, yeah, the white women. Non-black chicks. While we're out there worrying about symbolism and all this other dumb shit, they're out there getting money. We're over here on Twitter Spaces worrying about hip hop. And when y'all listen to that, I even told people in the room, y'all have other things to worry about than this. Y'all got to get your countries on code. Likewise, up here, we got to get our people on code. It can't be, hey, let me argue about some dumb shit over here. While over there, they're putting out legislation for everybody else except us. So when everything does go back to this new normal, we're going to be hamstrung. We're not going to be able to fight. But of course, we have enough Negroes out here who run around here and try to derail the conversation and think that they're the smartest people in the room. And then when dumb shit happens, they act like they didn't see it happen, which I find hilarious to me. Because if they would have just listened and said to themselves, okay, let me hear what they're saying, and then we can have a conversation about it. No, they want to shout you down. They want to tell you you're wrong. Okay, that's fair. You're allowed. But when it does go away and you're left holding the bag while the rest of us who understood what was happening get there and say to themselves, you know what? I ain't got nothing for you. You can stay over there. We got to keep moving forward. It's about time to stop dragging dead weight, and then we're the problem. Okay. Say less. So this is what I'm going to do for y'all folks. Just want to make sure this. Yeah, I'm going to do this for y'all folks. Just to prove that I'm right. For the rest of the show, you will not hear from me. You will hear from me, but you won't hear from me. I'm going to prove to you that I was right. I'm going to play the show where I explain this. Y'all can take it for however you want. So this is from my podcast, Beyond Borders with Rose Gold and Kid Gravity. You could stream it anywhere you get your ratchet music. This episode was it was a long episode, but it was a two-parter. I had to break it up into two parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the first part for you. No, I'm sorry. It was a one-parter, so why did it say two? Hang on. Oh, that's the file. Okay. I'm going to play it for you, so you can hear for yourself the things that I said 2 years ago and now how they're coming here. So here we go. Hey, this is Kid Gravity. Before or after you listen to this podcast, make sure you head over to YouTube and subscribe to my Kid Gravity Beyond channel, where I have live streams of subjects that you may or may not hear on this podcast, and also interviews that you may or may not hear on here. So again, go over to youtube.com, put in Kid Gravity Beyond, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.
Hey, this is rapper and producer, The Real Mike Wilson, and you're listening to Beyond Borders with Rose Gold and Kid Gravity.
This is Beyond Borders with Rose Gold and Kid Gravity, and all views and all opinions are solely those of the host.
So, Hoda, you're exactly right. It is very disturbing to hear these, and it's people of color generally are more susceptible to diseases, and we know that they have those pre-existing conditions, the diabetes, the heart disease, the asthma, that makes them more likely to suffer consequences because of coronavirus. And part of the reason they have that is there is a genetic component behind that, because we know that some of these things like high blood pressure in African Americans tends to be worse. But also at the same time, we know that there's some socioeconomic conditions that are causing them to be in situations where they're not only more likely to get coronavirus, but also more likely to suffer the consequences behind it. Healthcare access is limited in some situations, in a lot of situations across the country. And to be honestly frank, there are some situations where they're distrustful of the medical community because of history that's happened in the past, and so they're more reluctant to seek medical care until they absolutely need it, and that means they're not getting that early care that can have a huge impact.
And welcome to another episode of Beyond Borders with Rose Gold and Kid Gravity. This is your friend Rose Gold, and I'm here tonight with my sidekick. What's up, Kid? Oh no, let me take that back, y'all. Tonight he's a sociology guru.
Yes. Hello, folks.
Got that name.
Hello, friends, colleagues, distinguished Negroes. How are y'all doing this fine evening?
You know, we're doing awesome. What's up?
Same old is. Shout out to New York City. They just passed their fiscal budget, and NYPD is going to get $1 billion less in funding, which means no recruitment class and less patrols.
And who's gonna get that $1 million?
Oh no, they're pushing it to help. How they call it? Community outreach, which we all know is BS. And shout out to the DOJ for putting out a report saying that New York, Portland, and what was the other place? Seattle are going to be declared anarchist states and be defunded. So they're going to lose more money. It's time to go. But that's what I said. And Rose may continue.
Yeah, I wanted to shout out all the early voting states. And I think it's probably four or five already that started early voting in person. Wanted to shout out to the neighboring state of Virginia. Shout out to you guys. I believe Wyoming is on the list too. I don't have the whole list, but I know Virginia is one of the states. There's been long lines at polling centers. So shout out if you're in a state that allow early voting. Just get out there as quickly as you can and vote. You know, before election day. If it's allowed, it's open, go ahead. I do it. I think the majority of states, though, they are doing 15 days before election day. So we already know those lines on election day are never ending. If you have a chance, if you can, do it early.
Oh yeah, I go 6 a.m. or 6:30. The only people that are in there with me are people going to work or old folks.
But I feel like this year, though, because they do have to keep the measure, and I think that was one thing that made those lines even longer. I've seen picture across campuses, long line wrapping around parking lots. So I would really, I know personally, I definitely going to try to get in there before the election date. So
that's fine. If I can do the absentee, then I'll probably do it. But I'd rather go do it up front. I mean, it's look. 6 o'clock ain't nothing to me.
I'm sure there's gonna be people in there. A lot more than in past years. I feel like it. I feel like
I don't know, because especially with this election, I don't know. People gonna be those people and stay home.
Go out and vote. Now I've seen certain things trending. I'm not gonna go that far. I've seen people go hashtag vote or die. You're not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just say go ahead and exercise your right. Yeah, I've seen some chant and some hashtag vote.
Listen, folks. Guess what? You're a human being. You're gonna die anyway.
Exactly. So yeah, go ahead.
You can die standing in that line.
Go ahead and do your in person. But that's enough of the shout out. So now this is why we're gonna be talking about. Kid came up with one of these other funny topic, right? This is what he does best.
I don't think it's funny.
When I say funny,
serious. It's actually a very serious topic.
It is very serious, but when I say it, you guys will understand what I mean by funny. I'm not saying it's hilarious. I'm just saying it's okay. Where are you going with this? Now, here it is. How COVID-19 exposed black people.
Yes. I come up with great subject matter, do I not?
You do. I give it up to you. So shout out to Kid Gravity. Putting up with me and coming up with great subject matter. Tonight we're going to discuss and why and how COVID-19 exposed black people.
Yes, and to say sorry for what happened during our dating preference show when my computer was acting up, I actually pulled up the data early and left it on the main computer, so it can't disappear on me. Because I have a nice little chart that has COVID from spring to 6 days ago.
Okay.
That shows the death rates. And black folk, y'all not gonna like what I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
But let's get into it. Let's
jump right into it. What do you mean, though? I told you before we got online. I told you I was going to ask you what do you mean by how COVID exposed black people?
Yeah. Okay, folks. We know what happened. What's been happening in this world the last. We'll be conservative and say the last 8 months. Worldwide lockdowns. People can't get supplies, people panicking, can't pay their bills, massive unemployment, and things of that nature. And here we are, September 21st, and seems to be no end in sight. And then you have the sections of people with the conspiracy theories saying that the COVID's going to end November 4th after Trump gets in, or Biden. Wow. That was the one circling too. You have essentially people saying that it's just a bad case of the flu. It's not that serious. We've had worldwide death. You had people at the beginning saying we were going to lose 2 million people. Right now we're about almost 200,000. So, it's not nice that people died, but I'd take 1/10 of the projected death toll. Because if everybody remembers who are of our age, when 9/11 happened and them buildings fell, everybody was speculating damn near 10 to 20,000 people dead. And we had about 2,800. So we all know numbers can be overestimated in times of death and war. You'll never really know.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But what also happened in the COVID era, which is what we'll call here, we've seen a change in thinking from people in this country. Mainly how they conduct business is going to forever change. Commerce. Because I always said when this first started that if the truckers go down, we're screwed. And luckily they didn't go down, so commerce was able to stay up. Amazon made a killing. Restaurants, as you all know, they're hurting right now. In some states, like mine, movie theaters still aren't open.
Outdoor movie theaters, come on. Drive through. Outdoors.
Yeah, nothing outdoors really. I mean, sports come back, but they're doing that whole social justice piece. Maybe we'll do a show on that. Who knows? But let's just get into it. Black folks, we got exposed during this. And we got exposed because we have no foundations. We don't have a foundation economically. We didn't have a foundation socially. We didn't have a foundation educationally. We didn't have a foundation when it came to supplies, making sure we had what we needed on hand. And I'm not saying that the other races didn't have their problems, but by and large, they were better equipped than what we were better equipped. With what we had on hand, they eclipsed us. And really quick, let's start. Now, I have a graph open from apmresearchlab.org where they tallied for a 5-month period the COVID deaths between Black and Indigenous Americans, because of, as everyone knows, we have the highest death rate in the world. And according to this map, we have the most COVID deaths. And we all know why we have the most COVID deaths. And it's not because the disease is racist. It's because we don't take care of ourselves. We ignore going to the doctor. It's a long-standing Black trope. We know this, especially in the Caribbean and people of Caribbean backgrounds. We don't like going to the doctor because we're afraid they're going to tell us something that we don't want to hear. Our diets are shit. Our health, in terms of exercising, we're dead last in the world. Don't let them athletes fool you. We don't go to the gym. Now we're going because, got to keep up the fitness. But right now, according to this map, our rate is 1 out of every 1,020 Black Americans have died from this, or almost 98 deaths per 100,000 people. And with a race of 50 million people, conservative number again, that is about maybe 45,000. Could be a little bit more. I'm doing this math offhand. Could be a little bit more. Maybe around 50,000. That's not good, because the next people they say are the Indigenous Americans. That's next closest. They're 1 out of every 1,220. Which kind of sucks, y'all, because we don't care. Because remember, when we saw the dust-ups, everybody was saying this was a white people disease because white people started dropping. So everybody was cheering, talking about white people going to disappear. Then it started hitting Black folks. Now everybody wanted to be concerned. You should have been concerned when you first heard about it in December. So,
President job, though, he was not concerned. Why should we?
What do you mean?
He was not concerned. Donald Trump was not concerned. It was a hoax early in January.
I mean, that's fine. He said it was a hoax, but he shut down the borders in January.
Yeah, not really.
He stopped flights to China, and then a couple of weeks later, he stopped flights to Europe.
Not a couple of weeks. Took about 2 months. I think flight to Europe didn't really come down till March.
Okay.
Yeah. He
okay.
didn't do nothing.
No, that's fine. That's fair. That's fair. I thought it was a couple weeks, but that's fair. If that was March, okay. Could have been a lot worse.
Thanks to the president, Donald Trump. And thanks to Donald Trump.
Like I said, did he do? Is he absolved 100% from this? No. There were mistakes made. We know this. He said some things that he should apologize for, but hey, that's just my opinion.
Apologize for? People died.
No, I'm not saying apologize for people dying. I'm saying maybe there were some things he could have done better, but
Yeah. Of course. So let's not turn COVID to Black people to be blamed. I mean, for when I read this title,
I'm not blaming Black folks for this. I said clearly we got exposed. It's not about blame.
I think the system got exposed, if anything. The American
that
health.
too. No, that too. We can talk about the system later.
The healthcare system definitely got exposed.
I'm trying to keep this for Black folks because I don't think Black folks understand the severity of what's really going on.
I think we do. And then it's not our fault. If the system is weak and we don't really have...
Yeah, but we don't plan. That's the thing with us. We don't
The whole system did not plan.
No, but No, but what I'm saying is other races are in better shape than we are. They have the resources to adjust themselves. We really don't have the resources unless you're filthy rich.
Okay.
We don't have the resources where
once again there's a system failure.
Yes, it was a system
it's the whole
failure.
Economic system failure, and we just so happen to be at the bottom again.
Yes.
Just like, you know, if you know, I know that you pointed right before you pull your article. And I actually see the AP Research Lab article that you're looking at, which is a death analyzed by race and ethnicity. Folks, if you listening to us, you're at home, go to your search engine. I'm actually currently using Google. This is not marketing. I'm actually using Google, and I just type COVID among black people. And there's a plethora of article that came up. Right. A lot of it coming from very trusted sources, right?
Like what? What are these trusted sources?
The CDC.gov.
Okay.
Scientific American article. The Brookings Institute.
Brookings, those legends.
Now I'm scrolling as I'm reading. I'm just scrolling each of them. Right. The next one is the Pew Research Center, and then they have a couple of one, and then they ask those common COVID question, and I skip there, and I see the New York Times, then I see your source, the APM Research Lab, NPR. This is kind of hard to read. This is a citrap.umn.edu, so probably a university's website. And then the last one on this one page is the Med page. And I came through the first two articles from the CDC. I scanned through the article from the NPR. Haven't really taken a look at the New York Times. I took a look at the graph that you just mentioned from aprresearchlab.org. The color of coronavirus, COVID-19 by death, race, and ethnicity in the U.S. And if you read any of these articles, folks, it will definitely point to one, a system failure, right, but also it will emphasize the health, equity, consideration, and racial ethnic minority group.
Correct.
Which we know, right? Black people are often at the bottom.
Yes.
This is what the CDC listed as risk marker for underlying condition that impact health. These are the risk marker for underlying condition that impact health. Social economic status.
Well, everybody's going to say that.
Access to health care.
I just explained that.
And increased exposure to the virus due to occupation. Now, when you say COVID-19 exposed black people, as access to health care, do you think we should be blamed for having or not having access to health care?
Why am I blaming us for our... So it
did not really expose us. It exposed the system, because if it exposed us, then if a risk marker for underlying condition that impact our health was access to health care, it really exposed the healthcare system. Why don't we have...
Obamacare was supposed to correct that.
And I thought Trump for 4 years was going to change it as soon as he came into office.
Yeah, and he still hasn't changed it. So right now we still have Obamacare, correct?
We have the ACH, yes, where a lot of people are able to afford way more than before. Do you think if the ACH would have hit, if coronavirus would have hit without the ACH, you think we would have been better off? Be honest with me, using the prior system. Because I know a lot of people in my family that use that.
No, well, that prior system, we didn't have, I can only say for New York, we had the free or low-cost options before that system kicked in. I don't know about the other cities.
It would have been worse.
It probably would have been worse.
Because they definitely had way less people that could not afford health insurance back then, and they were working. The working poor could not afford it.
Yes.
I knew people closely, a lot of immigrants that I was working with, they had job, low paying job enough to keep their family eating, but healthcare was essentially a luxury for them to even afford. Now nowadays, these people go often to the doctor to get their physical check. Some of them might have high blood pressure. Some of them might have little minor illnesses that come with age, and they're able to have insurance cover certain costs of the prescription.
You know what also hurt us too with this? Well, not black people, but everybody. That this strain was not a typical strain. This was laced with SARS.
Well, coming back, we're going to come back. We're going to get into the detail of the virus. The virus is the same for everybody, right? The strain of the virus,
no, but
it
what
does
I'm saying
change.
is it's not regular coronavirus.
It just vary from places to places based on other factors. But the truth is, there was 3 or 4 risk marker. 1, it was the social economic status. 2, access to healthcare. 3, the increased exposure due to the occupation. Let's hear that again. The increased exposure due to occupation. The frontline workers. The essential and critical infrastructure worker. So the
infrastructure. Yes.
The construction worker. The person at the ER that just loads you, or a person who's sick into a cart or into the hospital. Those people.
Mm-hmm.
The home health aid that goes into people home to work.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know sometimes where the people at the house been. You can't clock them. You can't ask them where they've been. But you are greatly exposed. Once again, I know a lot of the immigrant, especially the African community, that these are the job they do. They are home aid healthcare professional that goes into people's home to take care of themselves. And once again, you can't control where the person being. So
you handcuff them to the radiator.
No, they can't do much like that. And it became an issue because when it came out, now you had to report every time your patient had to step out or whatever. If they were traveling, you had to let your office know so that whenever they came back, you couldn't go to work for 14 days, 2 weeks.
Handcuff, radiator. So
now, once again, we're talking about people of color. We're talking about us black folks. When your patient goes to or being quarantined for 14 days, you're not working, meaning you're not getting clocked on. You're not getting any work. You're not getting a timesheet signed and filled. You are.
And actually, no. You still work, but you just have to take precautions.
No, I'm telling you, when the patient were traveling, when they came back, precautionary measure was to isolate themselves, meaning that the aide, could not go into the house.
Unless you had it.
Nope. It happened. It happened. To once again, I'm pointing things in the system that made us exposed. Black people was not exposed. If anything was exposed, is the system. Is even the CDC.
Wait, when I said exposed, how do you think I meant exposed? Just real quick.
The way the factor that you listed. Oh, we don't take care of ourselves. We don't have access to good health. That's what it is, to get good health care.
But that's why I said, wasn't your ACA supposed to cure that?
ACA can't cure anything. But once again, I'm telling you, and you agree with me, that the ACA did better than any other the system that was there before. That's what I meant by cure.
That was supposed to be that stopgap so we could have better insurance, correct? And better opportunities to get health care, correct?
It gave us access, give us subsidies.
Yes,
for us to have.
So we could have better access to better doctors, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it exposed that.
It didn't expose black people, though. It exposed
does.
the
we
system.
have the highest death rate in the country.
It didn't expose black people. What is ACS? Is ACS black person just because Obama signed it now?
But that was marketed towards low-income people, which we take up a lot of space on that.
Exactly. And why are we even at the bottom feeder of the socio-economic status?
That's another subject for another day.
Exactly. So it's exposing
the system, yes, but it also exposed us badly for other things than just medically, which I stated in the beginning. We got exposed in every facet.
The CDC said this.
I understand the CDC.
They wrote
the
this.
CDC is always going to lead
the
off
long-standing systematic health and social inequity have put many people from racial and ethnic minority group at higher risk of getting sick and dying from COVID-19.
Everybody that's poor is going to die.
Everybody's going to die, but listen to this. You're talking about COVID-19. Let's talk about COVID-19.
I am talking about it. Yes.
Okay, you said everybody's going to die.
We have the highest rates of death in this country.
And the system is to blame.
You can blame the system all you want. That's fine. The system has their part, but we also have
to blame, and it needs to be fixed.
You can't fix it for everybody. That's why you have. That's why you have your ACA, and that's why you have your privates.
It need to be fixed. The system need to be fixed. You talked about how our diet sucks.
Yes, we eat too much salt. We eat too much fatty foods. We do.
And why is that?
Because that's our diet. Could
we afford better food?
Right now, yes.
You really think that we could afford better food? That the income of a working poor, so either you at the poverty line. I don't know what it is in any other states, but I think here in Maryland for a person, I think it's probably on a yearly, probably $15K. Let me Google that. Poverty line, Maryland. Poverty.
Y'all don't got farmers markets down there?
Give me a second. Poverty line, USA.
Because last I checked, they sell organic food in the markets.
How much does that cost? Would you?
It might cost a couple of dollars more, but if you're gonna talk about working poor, they get WIC. You know what's on WIC.
A couple when you're talking about 3-4 kids, a couple actually matters. Okay, so the U.S. 2020 poverty guideline is $12,760 for one person on a yearly basis. Now let that one sink.
Yeah, let it sink right to the bottom.
$12,760.
Yes.
Yearly. You think this person, just by yourself, this one person, with just over 10K a whole year, 52 weeks, 365 days, could afford organic food? Could really walk in the market.
But that person sounds like they would be on WIC though. They would be on
exactly. That's a poverty line.
Yeah. So but the
this
food
no, that's the line. This is the line. If you fall below it, I don't know.
But what I'm saying is, depending on the state, the SNAP will tell you what you can get. Right? You can't always rely on the system to tell you how to live. You have to take what the system gives you and you have to adjust it to make it work for you.
And I agree with that. But also, you also have to go to take your money and go to a store and purchase what they're selling.
Yes.
At the price that they're selling.
No, but if you have the WIC, you're not paying for that.
If you have WIC, and WIC is not accepted everywhere. We know that.
But they give you a list of where to go. They give you a list of where to go and you go there.
And do they sell organic food since we have
organic is not on those lists.
Okay. But I thought we in general just have poor diet just because we just love to drink soda.
But we do. Yes, we do. Man, come on.
Everybody has a sweet tooth, whether you're black, brown,
everybody
yellow,
has a sweet tooth, but you know us, especially from people in the South to up here and people in the Caribbean and Afro countries. We use a lot of bad oils. That's number one. We eat a lot of fried foods that you can't, and a lot of greasy food. We know that. There's a Chinese restaurant every like 13 every 10 blocks. Sometimes I've seen places where they have 2 on the same block.
Even
and a Crown
today,
Fried Chicken. And a Crown Fried Chicken.
Even today, even with the ACH in place, the ACH definitely
You keep
gives
saying
coverage.
ACH. This is not an electronic check.
ACA. My
there
bad.
it is.
Even with the ACA, I don't know why I say ACH.
I don't know, because you keep thinking about money. All you think about is money.
We ain't dealing with wire transfer. My bad.
Jesus
this is not
Christ.
no wire transfer.
Shout out to
okay,
Western
y'all?
Union.
We're not doing no ACH. Even with the ACH.
You said it again.
I said we're not doing no ACH. Chill out.
You want to do a show about the ACH?
Hell to the.
Hey.
You know what?
Hey. No cussing on this show.
I did not say
tonight.
that though. I stopped right there. Even with the ACA in full standing as we speak, right? We must agree and we know that the most uninsured group of people are likely to be minority group. The most uninsured people, even with the people that could be saved and afford $6 or $10 a month on premium.
That's a hell of what? That's it? Where are you finding this?
Yes.
That is but what are you getting for your $10?
Pretty much your coverage, the states do cover the remaining, and you just paying for your portion. And it varies on your income. You can be paying $50, $100. It really varies.
Yeah, I understand. That's your copay, but what I'm saying, what are you getting out of that if something happens?
And that's true.
Are they covering prescriptions? Are they covering if you have to go to the hospital? Are they covering your urgent care if you have to go? Because I even know even the privates, they don't like covering your urgent care.
They have a plethora of plans, and these are strip plans. But sometimes this is what most people could afford. These plans will come probably with 2 yearly check-in, where you will go in and you get checked up and things like that, and it might be covering to a top to spending for your medication. This is how much we can pay tops, and if you're comfortable with saying, hey, my yearly medication, even if it's being refilled 2 or 3 times, will not cost no more than $2K, then you pick one of those plans.
Jesus.
But literally, that's what it is. And
so basically what you're saying is you're not agreeing with me that we got exposed on the medical side.
I'm pointing to all of the system defects and the reason why.
So you're saying it's more the system, but we have no blame in this?
Oh, I'm not ever going to take no blame from nobody.
So how much of the blame is on us for this? I just want to know your number.
As far as us as a group, I feel like...
Be honest.
No, I will be. As long as on every other risk marker, we are last. As long as the system is discriminating against us, it was always going to bear the majority of the blame. This is not a blame that I would go on 50-50 on. Even if I want to attribute some of the blame to us, because I don't ever feel like someone is without blame per se. It could have some instance where really you didn't do nothing and there's just things happening to you. But even though doing nothing, I feel like you should try to do something. So that one part that I would put the blame on us sometime. But I would say this is probably 80-20.
So 20% us.
20% us and 80% of the system. And the history, it's just the history. We got exposed because COVID-19 might have showed up today, but like I said, our health were degrading for years. We just didn't have access.
Based on our choices.
Based on also on our access. You needed it to be rich before the ACA to have access to healthcare. And you needed to work certain jobs to even have coverages through your employer. And many of the jobs that our people used to, work now, and I'm not going to say used to work, but even currently still work, were making sure they could get away with that by calling certain employee, once again, calling employees certain names to disqualify them to, for not being able to cover the health care until, certain steps were taken. So the grocery worker might be nice to you. My some of them might not be nice. We have to agree. Some, when I go grocery shopping, I will see some nice cashier, some other cashier will not be nice. But I don't know if this is covered. This is a position that is covered to have health care insurance. So, and when we're looking at the demographic of people that actually work those type of jobs, we will see predominantly minority groups.
Right. Well, that's why white people are at the bottom. But, okay, that's medically.
Medically, I would say that. I really thought where you were going with this, I really thought you were going to say we were just dirty. We didn't use hand sanitizer.
Everybody, listen, when this whole thing started, everybody was buying hand sanitizer by the brother. You remember old dude in Tennessee that had all that hand sanitizer? And they arrested him. And
and
I
then
wasn't even going to go there. Hygiene, everybody, all humans are dirty. So, I can't go
Occupation is a big thing. Yes. People from some racial and ethnic minority group are disproportionately represented in essential work settings such as healthcare facility, the farms, the factories. Remember, it took one case in one factory, I don't know where it was, to shut down the whole entire town. I think it was somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah, it was the chicken factory.
Yes, it took that case to shut it.
Yeah, but that's my industry. You got to be careful with that. Because you don't want to get into food, because then you don't know where that food's getting sent, and then that's why you're seeing all these recalls. You don't want to recall because of that, because then you're going to have people destroying food, and then you're going to have your food supply low. So you have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
But
and
that was just
even during those time, being an essential worker could actually get you in trouble, because some people were caught in between, some hard decision. I'm scared not to go, but then I have to go, and then I have to call my manager and everything. Yeah. But yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so that was medically. Let's see. Where else did we get exposed? We got exposed economically. Where did Rose go? She left. Her computer went out. I'm going to continue until she comes back. We got exposed economically, folks. We don't plan ahead. I'm just going to say it straight off the bat. Black folks, we don't plan ahead. Our money goes out of our community way quicker than any other race. We don't save at the same levels. We don't diversify our money so we can have extra streams of income. Now we're doing it, but we didn't used to do it. Hey, did you come back?
I'm here. I'm listening.
So what happened with your mic? You muted it?
How?
I don't know.
I got quiet.
Yeah, you went dark for about a minute. I thought them fools were trying to start their car again.
Yeah, if this started, I was gonna mute it and go scream.
Yeah, but I was just explaining to the folk how we got exposed economically, and how we don't plan ahead. We don't plan 6 months ahead. We don't plan a year ahead. We plan basically 6 hours ahead, and how we also got exposed by not saving and diversifying our money, so we'll have extra streams of income. So
and I would agree with you on all of that, because it does make sense. You got to save, right? You got to keep rainy day funds. You have to have your little savings account. You have to diversify your investment if you have any things, any investment. But I mean, let's look at the type of job that actually offers stocks. Or do you really mean to go out there and buy your own stocks? Is that what you mean? Going really
not even
buying
that.
your own stuff with your own
I
money?
mean, most jobs nowadays they do give 401ks depending.
Let's
on
not be blind too. The American, I think, and I could. The average American is not saving. Let me get that percentage right.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Okay, let me get that percentage. I'll get the percentage.
A lot of races, a lot of Americans do save their money.
Okay, I'm
I think
talking about.
You know what it is? Again, because there's no middle class, a lot of those numbers get skewed.
With the rich.
Right, it's either the rich or the working. Everybody else is working poor.
Exactly, and I think that's where a lot, because maybe I say this wrong, but I was really trying to say that the majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck, we agree that those raining funds day that usually would include 1 month of rent, enough food for a month, enough supply for this and that, puts you at least you're looking at least to always have in your raining day fund or in your savings account, puts you at really 2 or 3 paychecks. Really, if you want to list 2 or 3 months of rent already, couple of bills paid, you know your average bills of electricity and water.
Saying. We got exposed there because we don't do that.
It's not just we.
Well, listen, like I said, a lot of other races doing way better than us because you're not hearing too many people talk. Here's the one thing that you got to compare it to what happened in 2008. How many people have you heard losing their homes? You haven't heard that.
It was not a market crash. This was a health
but people
crisis.
are out of work.
It's different.
But here's the thing: people are out of work.
It's different.
No, but what I'm saying is people are out of work, which stands to reason that a lot of them probably had their own homes, which means they own mortgages.
There were protection.
Right.
A lot of states actually stepped. No, that's the difference actually in
2008 we didn't have those protections. But also when these protections are gone, because you know they're going to eliminate them soon, what are they going to do?
That's one good thing to ask those mortgage company and the government. But
no, the mortgage company is going to go to the government for a bailout to get back that money that they lost.
But you're asking about right now.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you the protection, we're there.
Right. But what I'm saying is us as black folks, we rent.
And why do we rent?
Because we don't save enough. And
why don't we save enough?
Because either we're poor or we make bad decisions.
And why we poor? And why are we making bad decisions?
If you want me to tell you the system, I am not going to do
No, I would keep asking until you have an answer. I don't want a system. No, that's not an answer. I want.
So what answer what are you asking me?
I'm not looking for any answer. I'm really legitimately trying to get an answer out of
because
you.
we don't know how to work in cooperation with each other.
Okay, and why don't we know how to do that?
Because because men and women that are black want to one up each other. Nobody wants to relinquish and work 50-50. Everybody wants to lead. Nobody wants to follow.
And where do we get that mentality? It's just us?
From other generations and what we see on TV. And we think them people are alphas. They're not alphas.
Wow.
That's what I said when I did the Doomed episode. That you guys maybe one day will hear, because I did this show by myself yesterday and it was terrible because I needed Rose there and she knew that, but she was with her mama. So mama over her co-host. You see how mean she is?
So this is, I just type in there search engine, I type, what did I type?
I hope you ain't go to
average savings for American, just roughly there.
This is not Bossip.com, correct?
Nope. This is actually the New York Post.
Oh, okay. God. That
is the first thing that came up. Okay, let me change it. You screamed so bad that it actually went away. I don't know how you did that.
I got power. I told you, black man's voice carries power. I told you this.
It came, but then I wanted to see what I actually type. And it's taking me now to...
Tooken, there you see? Black folk right there. Tooken. We still say took it in 2020.
Shut the hell up. It's 2020. 2024 that we talk like this. I'm kidding.
Yeah, but like I said, folks,
but it says 357. I lost that article.
You're losing a lot, including your mind.
What happened here?
I mean, folks. Black folks, we gotta do better.
We
gotta do better. We gotta do better economically. We have to stop putting your money in precious metals.
You one thing you guys will understand too. It kind of is a circle. I think all of these risk factor, all of this that we talked about are kind of always linked, right? They are tied to each other, and this is how
socially. When we get to socially, you're gonna get mad at me.
Nah, I'll let you go talk, because you already know where you're going to go with this. I already know.
No, you don't.
I already know.
No, you don't.
Just the answer to you. No, you don't. The answer to my question was just funny.
You don't know where I'm going to go socially.
I already know.
You're going to hate me when I go socially.
I already know.
No, you don't.
It's black women fault. I know. Surprise me.
Okay.
Inequality in access to high quality education for some racial and ethnic minority groups.
Oh, I can't wait for that report to come out in January saying how black kids are way behind.
Definitely can lead to lower high school completion rate, which also turn into, this is not generalization. I'm not talking to everybody. We're just talking to more so the majority, the average.
Shout out to New York City.
So I'm not saying
opened up in-person learning today. So shout out to them.
Woohoo! Be safe, y'all. Be safe. So it lead to might not get to to college, which also prevents you to get certain position with the college degree. We already talked about it. No, we already talked about it. We talked about technical school.
We
talked about that. Me and you had our conversation where I feel like we need to reform the educational system. We talked about that because I feel like
we certify the high schools. Yes.
Not anybody need to be getting a B in English. I really don't think it's needed.
No, say it right, woman. You don't need a gender studies degree. You don't need African American studies. Ain't gonna take you that far.
I'm not gonna say you don't need it.
What do you need African American studies for? What do you need a degree? What is a degree like that gonna do for you?
Some people have found job in those fields.
Yeah, it's called a professor, and guess what? You still need an education background to go teach that. Next.
Exactly.
So what are you going to do if you didn't want to be a teacher? What are you going to do with an African American studies degree?
And that's what I've said. This is exactly what I said. I don't believe that everybody needed BA in English.
Is that considered English?
Yeah, they have BAs. They have Bachelor of Arts in English. They do. English is a major. English major.
Wait, but African American studies is not English.
That's what you said. I'm not going to talk about.
That's not what I said. When did I say that?
No, that's what you said. You talk about African American. I'm talking about BAs in English. So this is what I said, and you told me let me say that right.
Well, English what? What are you doing? You mean a BA in English?
Yeah.
English what? What is your minor?
You don't need a minor. You just need.
So what are you going to do with a BA in English?
Exactly what I said. I think something like that,
you have to have a minor with that. What are you going to do with an English degree? That's just very broad.
Okay. Like I was saying, I said, and Kid said whatever he said, but I said, don't nobody need a B in English. So I'm just saying, me and him already, we were in agreement that, certain things, not everybody need that. If this is not your passion, if you don't feel like, college will serve you, you don't need a 6 years degree to do what you like and you're passionate about, and I don't think you should be going to college just because,
Say the correct term. You don't need to go into debt.
Hey, you speak for yourself, I speak for myself.
What you mean?
So, like I said, you really don't need to. If you feel like, you're passionate about certain things that don't need a 4 years, 6 years degree, then don't go there doing that. So, yeah, I feel like technical school need to be back again. Certification need to kind of flourish so that we can target We can target what the markets need and provide this certification for workers. But
before she finishes that, folk, I just realized I gotta do this ad. I gotta put this ad in there. I forgot. Damn it.
Throw it in.
Yeah, let me put it in. All right, so hold on, listen to this ad, and then we're gonna come right back, and then she's gonna cuss me out some more. Yo, love y'all natural hair, don't you? Of course you love your natural hair. I love natural hair. And we have a friend of the show, DJ Chevy Red, who has come out with a product for your natural hair. It's called Just Curling Mango Mint Curl Defining Pudding. I don't know what's in it, but all I know is it's organic, and she's selling it. So head over to djchevyred.com, pick that up, tell them Kid Gravity, Rose Gold, and Beyond Borders sent you. Maybe she give us a discount. Okay, see, we back. Okay, Rose, continue cussing me out.
We made it. I was not cussing you out. You know that's right. So, these are little things that would also not give you those type of job where you have enough to go around to save. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. I would never sit down there and tell you it's been done before. It definitely can be done again.
Yes.
Where you are able to save beyond, ridiculous low pay, that you're able to become a homeowner, that you're able. I'm not saying that we're not able to do that, but I'm just saying it's a little harder for us to accomplish certain things. And this is why I said, when you ask me, do you think the system is 100%? I say no. I think that you have to also attribute some type of blames or some type of responsibility to certain people. It can't just be a whole system to be responsible for certain things, especially when it's been done before.
Which is why.
But all I'm saying, we also have to admit how harder it is compared to other people, compared to other races, for us to achieve what other races really don't struggle with. I think that's what it is. They really don't struggle with it.
Which is why I said the system, yes, it has its share of blame, but we have to use the system and adjust it to work for us. We don't do that.
Go on it.
I mean, what else is there to say? We understand the system is messed up. Do we look at the system and say, okay, let me go this way so the system doesn't affect me as hard? No. We complain about it. Like when we discussed with the ACA. We were given this, and right now I just told you we have the highest deaths by race in the country. So did it really help us? Not really, because we didn't adjust with it. The ACA was there as a protection, but we as black folks should have said, okay, we have certain deficiencies that don't affect other races. We have high diabetes numbers. We have high obesity numbers. We didn't change as a collective. And now those problems have reared themselves with this COVID, because most of the deaths with COVID are underlying factors which involve the respiratory system. And we know black folks, when we get colds, our colds are worse than others. It hits us harder. We didn't adjust for that. We did the opposite. We tried to praise it at the beginning. And then when it started kicking our ass, that's when everybody started getting concerned. We should have been concerned when we first heard about it in December. We didn't get concerned. And that's
how could we have when we had a president that was not concerned?
Everybody should have been concerned. Like I said, he said it was a hoax. He got an answer for that. He downplayed
the whole thing, and you know more than anything that a lot of people living in this country kind of just stay within the news of this country. They really don't try to reach out and read other newspaper from other places.
Right, I understand. That's why I say you got to do. That's why we always stress on here: do your research. I did the research. You did the research. But
I have first-hand stories. Like I saw.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I have first-hand stories as well. I just don't tell them. But what I'm saying is, other people saw what we were doing, and they said, okay, this COVID thing might be serious. Let me read up on it. And then they were like, okay, it's going to do this might happen, this might not happen. They adjusted themselves. We didn't adjust ourselves. I think if it hit us first hard, we might have adjusted. But it didn't hit us hard first. It hit white people first. It hit the old folks first. When the dumbass governor up here in New York put all them old people and young people in them nursing homes and they started dying at quick rates, that was mostly white people. We didn't adjust. Then when everything started locking down, then we were in that situation where we said, oh damn, what are we gonna do? Yeah, you could go on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and see posts with white people talking about, oh well, you know what, I just got another 6 months of MREs. I just bought ammo. My family, we just got another 10 cases of water. We good. We set up for a year. Economically, we didn't start any co-ops. I saw a post with other races saying, okay, they put their resources together. They're cool. They're able to weather it out for a few months. Well, how many of us can say we can do that? We got exposed. We're worrying about the wrong things. I wouldn't have so much problem with black folks is if we did more proactive movement and it failed, because then you can have a conversation like, okay, maybe these approaches aren't working. But we don't even attempt this. We attempt it once it becomes reactive. And by then, we're just working I hope the rules don't change at that point. We're not changing with the rules. We're changing in spite of the rules. And that's how we get in trouble every time. And that's why I said for the first two things, medically and economically, we got exposed. And hopefully, when this is over, we'll adjust our thinking before the next plague comes or something worse comes. That's all I'm saying. But socially, before we go, you're going to get mad at me.
Go ahead.
Socially, we got exposed, y'all. How did we get exposed? Like I just said, we didn't do research. We didn't put things in their proper priority. When everybody else was worrying about their supplies and things like that, what were we bitching on social media about? What celebrities and their love life are doing. It's like we, as a society, we didn't change. The only thing I will give black folks on is socially is you see more black people going doing their research on politics. I will give them that. And pay more attention to what's going on politically. But by and large, we still do the same things we've been doing. We still worrying about people we shouldn't be worried about. We're still out here doing stupid videos instead of worrying about how we can learn different things. You have an entire internet on your phone next to you, next to your beds, in your pockets. You're not learning. You're waiting for drama to pop up.
Well, folks, if you're listening to us, the topic today was around a disease, COVID-19. It was about a virus that killed a lot of people throughout the world. When it comes to diseases, when it comes to illnesses, and looking at mortality rate of those, there are factors that are influenced by two things: the risk of infection and or the risk of death among those who are infected. I repeat myself. Number one, the risk of infection and or the risk of death among those who are infected. When you want to be objective about a topic and you're looking at these things and you're looking at the number of death among black people versus other races, or like I love to do, the number of death amount, minority group versus other groups, you would understand that the infection rate were higher among the Black and Hispanic community and groups, mostly because of the occupation that were less, that were more social, more kind of group based, more kind of a gathering. Their occupation were also essential. So when pretty much everything would close, but they never really closed grocery stores and places where you could get food and essentials. That's where we were working to. When a lot of people were dying and businesses were shut down, the hospital never closed its door, and the people that were usually on the front line, so kind of taking your temperature, your security guard at the door, these are the people that were mostly exposed. And those people were us. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the backhand of a system that has always been unfair to us.
Yes, and we consistently get slapped.
And this is a time for us to really make lasting change. And how do you do that? You get involved. How do you do that? You brainstorm with our ideas. You get involved from a community sense, a level, the sense. And I've always choose a community, people coming together and making things happen. And we hope that other community around yours can pick those ideas. And why not even, take it on a bigger scale? These are what really doomed most of our life, most of our, interaction with each other will be forever changed. We have our own, our own responsibility in that. And that's why I say we have to act. We can't just sit down here and blame the system all the time. Yes, we know it's unfair. We also have to take the first step in trying to fix the system and trying to better it. It's not going to be perfect at one change. It's not. Let's not just look for one fix that will fix it all and make it perfect. No. It's repetitive attempt. So, in whatever way you think that change will look like, you can start being that change today. You can actually try to improve your lives. And I've seen it. We're moving into the right direction. There's still some stragglers. There's still things that are holding us back. Yes. But keep on moving. Keep on moving. I don't want to, we're in 2020. 10, 15 years from now, even if we still talking about a system that's repressive, even if I still want the number of us doing better than before, growing, exploding. Let's get into the workforce. Let's head some of these jobs. Let's be in the forefront. Let's replenish the middle class again. It evaporated. I know that we feel like the system is stacked against us. And, we're not going to stop living, right? Are we just going to give them, all right, go ahead, let's die? Well, kids say everybody die. We're going to die regardless. Let even worry about it. It's just a question of when. But while we're still around here, I think there's more to be done. And, there's more to be done in general. We talked about COVID-19 today. Any other day we have different topics that affect us. But, let's keep it moving. I believe in us. Take part in your election. Why don't you run? Do things. Like, come up with ideas. We can really empower other generation. And I think that's one thing we should do.
You want to hear something? That was very eloquent, by the way. I fucks with it. But check this out before we go.
You about to say something that's what pissed me off, and you about to run out.
I went down that first site that I told you about, the APM research.
Mm-hmm.
They also have a nice little comparison chart of black deaths versus white deaths,
mm-hmm.
based on state. My state leads.
Wow.
324 black people have died in this state to 72 white people. That's per 100,000. Want to hear your state?
Yeah, go ahead.
110 to 43.
Wow. That's way more than 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
But we're way past 50%.
Wow. 100.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
This includes DC.
That's crazy.
Well, DC's not even on this list. Wait, no. DC is on this list.
It's all the way at the
36.
bottom.
No, 150 to 36. So it's more than yours. It's more than yours. So your whole area. And they have Virginia, too. Virginia, I think, was near the bottom, actually. Let me see. I think it was near the bottom. Wow. Yeah, 57-27.
Okay,
so if you add up the so you add up that There you go, folks. It's not a game out here anymore. It's not a game. Y'all keep playing. But anyway, let me get up out of here and put up that part 1 of that Twitter space I did yesterday. Might have to move it to about 8. But anyway, just be on the lookout for it. Anyway, take care, stay safe. I'm out. One more time before we get up out of here.
Must take the vaccine. Now, I'm going to tell you a personal story, off script. So today, right after this, I am going to have an infusion. And I'm going to have an infusion because I want to make sure that the cancer that was in my body does not return. I'm not asking what's in the infusion. I'm not looking up all of the ingredients in the infusion. I am sticking out my arm and I am taking the infusion. And that's what we have to do. Our communities take insulin, metformin, all kinds